Okay, let's start with a claim that honestly is pretty counterintuitive for most of us in the West. The idea of separating church and state, something we almost take for granted, is actually a historically strange concept if you look at the foundational mission of Islam. We're digging into Karen Armstrong's book, Islam, A Short History. It's a really concise overview that aims to correct a lot of Western misconceptions. And our mission today is simple. Here are the most game-changing essential insights from the book Practical Wisdom that could really transform how you think and act.
So the first essential insight is a huge myth buster. I mean, when most of us think about salvation, we tend to frame it as something private.
Right, an otherworldly thing. Between you and your creator.
Exactly. But Armstrong shows that Islam's core duty, its original mission, was entirely focused on building a just community, the ummah, that is. It was about creating a society where the vulnerable widows, orphans, the poor are protected, where social life itself is built on compassion and equity.
So you're saying the creation of a humane social order is how salvation is achieved? It means politics and spirituality aren't separate jobs.
They're fundamentally the same task. Your faith is basically meaningless unless it translates into action for social justice.
So your personal morality is measured by your contribution to the public good.
That's the principle. And here's the simple way to apply this principle of unified faith and action to your own ethical dilemmas.
Okay, essential insight number 2. This centers on one single violent event in 680 CE, the killing of Hussein, the Prophet's grandson, at Karbala. It became this lasting symbol of injustice that really solidifies Shiite identity to this day.
And this tragedy, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. It was the absolute boiling point of a violent struggle over who should lead the Muslim community after Muhammad's death.
Was it about lineage or about consensus?
That was the core question. And the tragedy at Karbala cemented the Sunni-Shii split, not just as a disagreement, but as a deep foundational political and spiritual trauma.
And what's so fascinating here is how these historical tensions over who should lead all stem from trying to live out these high spiritual principles under immense pressure.
Yeah, the pressure of military expansion, of dynastic power.
Yeah.
It brings up this huge question. How do you maintain your ideals while also building an empire?
It's a tension that never really goes away.
It never does. And the trauma of Karbala became a rallying cry for movements fighting against corrupt power for centuries.
And if you want to follow that thread, this is Mindful Moments, our YouTube channel offering AI book analysis, summaries, and critiques, inspiring reflection and rational thought.
Which brings us to our third insight. And this one is, let's just say it's controversial. Armstrong argues that many Westerners completely misread modern Islamic militancy.
How so?
They see it as some kind of timeless religious fanaticism. But she argues it's better understood as a modern, historically specific response to, well, to profound external shocks.
A modern response. Okay, so things like humiliation, occupation, colonial disruption.
Right, and authoritarian rule that followed. It's a response to the shattering of older Islamic political orders, not just something that comes from ancient texts alone.
And when you say colonial disruption, you don't just mean changing flags. You're talking about the West actively dismantling local, legal, political, and economic systems.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that created this vacuum where older structures of dignity and justice just collapsed. The movements we see today are often reacting to those specific historical failures.
It raises such an important question then. What specific economic and social dislocations fueled the modern fundamentalist movements seeking to reclaim that dignity and control? Remember, you can start with our 5-minute essential insights, then dive into the in-depth analysis. Next, the summary, ending with the comprehensive critique. Discover genre-based book podcasts at Mindful Moments. Subscribe and nourish your mind on the go.